What's up, you guys? So today's video is all about my crazy traveling adventures. As you guys know, I was all around Italy, and then I went to Paris as my last stop in this past week. And I've traveled alone before, and like I've done it without Wi-Fi before and everything, but this time it was just so freaking complicated. I didn't buy milk because I was like, I don't know if they have any at the house, so I'm drinking black coffee. Who is she? I don't know her, but I love her. All right, anyways, let's get into it. I was going to Paris. In Paris, I actually know someone. So I have my my friend Cassie, who was actually my roommate my second semester of my first year, and she lives right outside of Paris. And so I was gonna go stay with her, right? And I told her, like, I'm not gonna have Wi-Fi unless I'm in the airport, possibly. And so like, how am I supposed to find you, blah blah blah. So like, we like gave each other all the details. Like, she gave me her address, I knew how to get there. Like, I got to the airport and I googled the directions, which also I flew into Beauvais, and which is like 2 hours away from Paris. And I was like, I fucking hate myself so much. What were you thinking? Were you thinking? No, I wasn't. I just kind of like, I'm impulsive. That's my problem too. Like, I don't really look into details. Like, I'm just like, yeah, I want to go, so I'm gonna do it. So then I get there and I realize that I'm like 2 hours away. And I was like texting Cassie, and she's like, what airport are you at? Because there's like 2 airports in Paris. And I was like, Beauvais. And she was like, oh, B. I was like, yeah, girl, I know. I was like, it's okay, there's a shuttle here that'll take me to Paris. And then from Paris, it's like, I think it was supposed to be like 45 minutes to her house by public transportation. And I get to Paris and I had directions, but the directions ended up being wrong. So literally they dropped me off, like, so it told me to get off on like Vincennes or something like that, and I got off, and then it said like I would get on another train and go 1 stop, and then from there I would walk 17 minutes. So I was like, what's the point of me getting on another train for 1 stop? Like, I'll just walk it, you know, like it won't be that long. So I start walking, and I'm looking at my phone, and I was like, why does it still show the red track for the first train if like I already went to the end of it? So tell me why it told me to get off like so many stops earlier. And I was like, what the heck? So I was like, it probably won't even be that long anyway. Like, I can walk. Like, I've walked for days before. So throwback to World Youth Day when we walked for 7 hours to get to our campsite. So yeah, like, I'm used to walking. I will not complain about the amount of time I have to walk. But at this point, like, I was exhausted, and Paris was also cold. So I was wearing my booties. And then I'm just walking with all my luggage, and I'm walking and walking and walking, and I don't see an end to this. Like, my little icon is like over here, and I'm like over here. So I was like, what, like, I was so frustrated. Like, I was like, what is going on? So, and like, I have no Wi-Fi, so I can't even like call an Uber for myself. There's no taxis to be found. And I was like, where the heck am I? And my friend, shout out to Madame Tess, is trash. And so I was just like, oh my god. And I felt bad because at this point, like, I've been walking for like a good 2 hours, and I told Cassie I would be there in the next like 2 hours. So I was like, she's gonna start worrying, like, she's gonna be like, what happened to her? Where is she? Your girl got taken. And so then I was just like, what do I do? And so I just keep walking and walking. At this point, I'm walking for like a good 3 hours, and I was getting so fed up, you guys. Like, I was literally Snapchatting my siblings, and I was like, this sucks. Like, I hate traveling. I hate not having Wi-Fi. I'm gonna buy a SIM card once I get to Rotterdam. Like, I'm just going off. Like, I was like, I genuinely hated my life at that point. But I was trying so hard to not like be so negative about it, because at the end of the day, like, I'm so lucky to be out here, you know, like, not everyone has that opportunity. So I was just like, oh, I want to die. I wanted to cry so badly, but I was like, I cannot just cry out here in the middle of the street. Like, people are gonna be like, what's wrong with this girl? And so I just keep walking and my phone is dying, my legs are dead. And so I get to this park and somehow I was able to connect to Wi-Fi there, and I was like, oh my god, bless up, bless up. So I start texting Cassie and she's like, are you lost? Like, what happened to you? Where are you? Day, I'm getting worried. And so I was like, I'm so sorry, I finally got Wi-Fi. I just got off at the wrong stop, so I've been having to walk this entire time. And she was like, oh my god, where are you? Send me your location. So I sent it to her, and like I was already looking up how far away I was, but it was still another 3-hour walk from where I was. I was like, are you serious? So I started trying to call an Uber, and I was like, okay, like the Uber was gonna be like, ooh, like 11 euros, I think. And I was like, you know what, at this point, I don't even care, like just get me there. So mind you, I landed in Paris or Beauvais around 9 a.m. and it was already like 3 p.m. 3 or 4, something like that. So yeah. And then, so I call this Uber, and I'm hoping that my Wi-Fi stays connected the entire time and that he can find me, because if he can't find me, like, he can't call me either. So I was just like, oh my god. And so I'm waiting for this Uber. My phone is at like 4%, and I was just like, hurry up. So I get in, I was like, bonjour. And then, like, dropped me off at her location, supposedly. And I'm so confused, like, because she lives in an apartment complex, but it's a gated place, and like I couldn't find the number that she had given me. So I'm walking around, walking. I was just like, I'm so done, like what the heck. And I walk into this random ass building, and I was like, oh, est-ce que tu parles anglais? And he's like, non, je suis français, je parle français. And I was like, I get that, I get it, it's France, you speak French, but can you help me out here? And he was not willing to help me. So I was just like, est-ce que tu sais pas? And like I show him like the address, and he's like, no. I was like, okay, cool, bye ho. So I was just like, oh my god. And there, like, I could not connect to the Wi-Fi anywhere. So I was like, oh my god. I walked around for like another 30 minutes, and it was supposed to take me like 15 minutes to get to Cassie's. So I was like, she's probably like, where the heck is this girl? So I'm walking around. I walk up to this girl, and I was like, est-ce que tu sais pas où est 14? And then she's like, where's 14? And I was like, oui. And so then she's like, oh, do you speak English? And I was like, yeah. And so then she's like, yeah, I live in 10, so 14 is probably like right by me. And then she's like trying to get me into the gate, and like for some reason Cassie's last name doesn't show up on the list. So I was like, no, that's not her. And then I was like, I have the key code. And she's like, no, but you need a different one to get in through this gate. And I was like, oh my god. So finally I get in, and like I'm trying to like put in the codes that she gave me, and they're not working. Luckily there was someone there to open the doors for me. And so then I go up to the second floor, and then like she hadn't, like there were no apartment numbers on there, and she hadn't given me an apartment number. So I was like, so I literally just sat in the hallway, and I tried to charge my phone because I was at 1% by this point. And I was like, well, I don't want to walk on and knock in all these doors. Like, people are going to be like, what are you doing? And so I'm just like, I sat there for like a good 10 minutes. And I heard one apartment playing TV really loud. So I was like, I feel like, if anything, that's going to be Cassie, because she's waiting for me. So she's probably just like watching TV. So then I go, and I just like ring the doorbell, and I was like, because this happened to me last time that I came to Paris. Like, she didn't give me the code for the apartment, so I was just like putting in all these codes, and this man came out. He's like yelling at me in French, and I was just like, oh, je ne parle français. So it was so embarrassing. So I was like, oh my god, Paris part 2, here we go. And so like I ring the doorbell, she walks out. I was like, Cassie, oh my god. She's like, Day, where have you been? Oh my god, it was wild, you guys. So we walk in. I smell so bad at this point. Like, I was like, I'm disgusting, please let me just shower. And yeah, so yeah, I made it to Paris, and we did like the French things that I wanted to do. And so then the next, I think like 2 days later, I was supposed to go to back to Rotterdam, and I was gonna take a bus here, and I was gonna Uber from her house to the bus station, and I was really hoping that my Wi-Fi would stay connected when I walked out of her house, because I was like, what if he can't see my location after that? And so I get in, and he found me, and I was like, bonjour. And then we're like driving there, and this was a pool. So he was gonna pick someone else up at another train station, right? And this person was like British. And so they're speaking English to him. And like, I'm telling you, like, French are not helpful. Like, if you do not speak French, it's so hard to get around, because they literally do not care. Like, they're like, you don't speak French? All right, bye. And so the guy in the pool was like, are you at the Carrefour? And he's like, je ne comprends. And I was like, oh my god, he just said, like, and so like he's like, and like he's trying to like tell him, but he's literally not trying any type of French. He's just saying like, are you at the Carrefour? I'll meet you there. And then like the driver is getting really frustrated, so it's like, il est à le Carrefour. Like, I was trying so hard to help, but like my French is just so bad, you guys. And so he's like, oh, okay. And then like he starts asking me a question. I was just like, the Carrefour. Yeah, he's at the Carrefour. And so then I'm trying to tell the British guy, like, we're at the front, very front of all the buses, like, where are you? And he's like, are you by any chance at the Carrefour? And I understood, are you by any chance in the car? I was like, yeah, I am. Stupid. And he's like, okay, I'll just meet you there. And I was like, oh, no. And like, I'm trying to tell him like where we are. And then so then I don't know how to say like meet us. Like, I was like, I don't know how to say that in French. So so then the driver was like, do you speak French in French? And I was like, un peu. And so like he starts telling me something in French, and I was like, je ne comprends, pardon. And then and so then he's like, I annulate. And I was like, what? And he's like, I annulate. And I was like, oh, like you canceled the ride for them? He's like, I annulate them because I know speak English too complicated. And I was like, oh, okay, like as long as you don't cancel mine. On my train, I get on my train, or my bus, sorry, and then we're just coming out here. It's taking forever. I'm so exhausted. And then we did a pit stop in Belgium, and I was like, okay. So then like I went and bought some stuff, and then we get to Rotterdam. So we were going to get to the Rotterdam Central Station, which is like 20 minutes from my house. And so I get here, and I literally slept the entire time. So I woke up like right when we got here, and like I woke up so disoriented. And like I just walk away from the bus, and I'm just walking to the train station, and I was like, why do I feel so light right now? And I was like, I literally did this in the middle of the train station. I was like, my duffel bag, and I start like running back to the bus, and I see the bus leave, and I was like, are you serious? And I was so like distraught. I was just like, are you serious right now? And, like, I wanted to cry so badly. Like, I was like, how can I be so fucking stupid? Like, soldami, like. So I was just like, are you serious? Like, I can't even call them. And so I get to the train station, like, they have Wi-Fi there. So I text my sister, I was like, please look up a phone number for Flixbus, call them. I left my duffel bag there. And she was like, bruh, like, how? Like, are you stupid? I was like, yes, I am. And so I was just like, oh my god. And I started thinking of like the stuff that I had. And luckily, I didn't have any type of valuables. Like, in my backpack, I had like my passport, my MacBook, my phone chargers, like all of my valuables I had in my backpack. But in my duffel bag, I had my booties, which are literally an essential to my wardrobe. Like, I wear my booties every single day. Like, my booties, high-waisted black jeans, a t-shirt or a sweater are my everyday outfit. And now I have to wear these my Stan Smiths. Like, who is she? I mean, like, I love those shoes, but like my booties really make me. And when going out, like, those were my going out shoes. So I was like, and then I cried, and I was just like, I'm so done with myself. Like, I hate traveling, I hate being alone, I want to go home. And yeah, I was just not having a good time. So then I like calmed down and I was like, it's fine, like I have all my valuables, all my important stuff, like I have it with me, I have my passport, I can still travel, I can go buy a duffel bag, I can go buy new clothes, I can buy new booties. My booties were expensive though, but like it's fine, it's fine. And so yeah, then I came to Rotterdam, I got into my apartment, cried for a little bit, you know, and then just like started putting my stuff away, unpacked, and chilled out, journaled about it, you know. I do use this thing for everything. This looks like a Bible because it is my Bible. Like all of my truths are in here, everything that happens to me is in here. So yeah, at the end of the day, I mean, I am very grateful for all these experiences that I had, and I am very blessed to be able to say that I went through this while traveling Europe, you know. Yeah, it was wild, you guys. I got here and I was so exhausted. Maybe like if you're smarter than me, like it won't be that bad, but me, todo me pasa. So yeah, but thank you guys so much for watching and listening to my little rants. Hope I'm not discouraging you guys from doing it yourselves, but just be ready, or like pay for a phone plan abroad so that you can have Wi-Fi. A lot of this could have been prevented if I had Wi-Fi, honestly, like that's the truth. But yeah, stay tuned for my next video.